Good morning, students. It's our next topic of chapter number 4, Position of Indian President. He has been owned, according to our constitution, with a vast financial, executive, legislative, judicial, and emergency powers. On the basis of these powers, few critics point out that such powers can make a president dictator, like our first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad in 1951. He wrote uh, to Prime Minister Nehru that he desired to act individually on his judgments. Means critics challenge this view or as an attack upon the Indian parliamentary system, and Dr. S. Radhakrishnan was also quite critical on the Indian government when China attacked India in 1962. Then the Zakir Hussain, he also marked few instructions into the politics, but he deal all the things very gently. Now VV Giri, he was responsible to a split in the Congress. He was also criticized that government handling of a railway strike during his time period. Then Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, he point out the emergency point, and then Sanjeeva Reddy, that he claimed that did not interfere in the affairs of the government. Gyani Jail Singh, during the Rajiv Gandhi's time period, he point out or he criticized that the government not keeping him regularly informed that what was going on in the parliament. So these are few examples, shows that the nominal power holder is not quite satisfied with the real power holder. Now we can say that no government has ever or no president has ever accepted the role of a rubber stamp, or irrespective of the 42nd and 44th amendment. There is nothing in the constitution that reduces the president to a non-entity. So according to the constitutional status, can be an independent organ of the state with the power to prevent the parliamentary hierarchy. You know, cabinet accordingly, if we are talking that advice of the cabinet through his own foresights and by acting above party politics, such a right to advise, encourage, and warn the ministers to keep check on all the arbitrary powers of the government. For also we can take an example of Dr. Pratibha Patil, that she proposed to increase the membership of means the representatives or the judges of Supreme Court, women candidates should be there. So these are the few points that show that the powers of the president. Now the presidential form or the presidential system, it is not necessarily nominal, that the president play a role of a nominal executive always, like the Indian president. In many states or nations like America, the president is both the head of the state as well as the head of the government. He is directly elected by the people. He appoint his own ministers according to his own choice, and he is not answerable to the legislative. He use the veto power on any bill and fix his own tenure of 4 years. These things happens in America, but in Indian parliamentary model, which is based on the British system, so here the head of the state is president, and the real head of the government is uh, prime minister and his cabinet. So president is act like the nominal executive, like the Queen of England. So, vice president, according to article number 63, vice president elect by both the houses, means the Rajya Sabha and through the Lok Sabha. And qualification that he must be the citizen of India, completed 35 years of his age, eligible to become a member of Rajya Sabha, should not be unsound mind or bank corrupt, and not hold any office of profit, functions According to article number 64, he is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Maintain discipline in Rajya Sabha means he is responsible to maintain the disciplinary system in Rajya Sabha. He allow the speech and deliberations on any bill, and act or deal the officing works in the absence of a president, if the president resigns, dies, or else at that time. Now we are talking about the Indian Prime Minister. Means we can say that the Indian Prime Minister is the real head of the government. Indian government means nominal and real executive. According to article number 74, that Constitution of India provides that there shall be a council of ministers with the Prime Minister at the head to help and advise the president. Means president always depend upon the advice and recommendations of PM and his cabinet. The president is a nominal constitutional head of the government, or the real authority he exists within the prime minister, who is the head of the government, and he is responsible to handle the governmental machinery. Now the the president of India appoints the PM, sorry, the appointment of the prime minister. The president of India appoints by the president on on his advice the council of ministers. In reality, it is only a formal power of the president. Actually, the leader of the majority party in Lok Sabha is appointed as the prime minister. However, normally we can say that in 1996, 1998, 2004 elections, the president can exercise his discretion in appointment of the prime minister, such that if they are not capable to take the majority, in that condition the president take his own decisions. Now the powers of the prime minister and the president. Prime minister is the link between the cabinet and the president. He all the key decisions of the cabinet are communicated to the president through the prime minister. It's the duty of the prime minister to give the finishing or give the and to polish the information regarding to any issue, affair of the union, as the president may ask for. The advice of the prime minister that the president summons and of the parliament, resolve the Lok Sabhas and appoints and remove the highly officials. The president can refuse or refer back the decisions of the cabinet once for reconsideration, or like a recommendation or a suggestion, but at last it depends on the PM and his council or ministry that they accept it or not. Rest of the points we will discuss in next class.